And hello, welcome. Welcome back to the League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, where we attempt to apply logic and reason to politics and religion. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Christy Santiago, and Kim Iversen.
Hi.
So for many of our viewers actually come from the atheist YouTube community that we're a part of. So many of them are very new to progressivism and a lot of the news that Christy and I are used to. So if you'd like to tell them about yourself, Kim, and what your channel is about, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so I do a YouTube show, and it's political. I do consider myself a progressive economically. So I talk about what's going on in the world of politics with economics more left-leaning, I guess, on the economic stuff, and do get into some social issues and whatnot. I kind of consider myself more of a social libertarian, economic progressive, independent thinker. And yeah, that's like pretty much what I'm doing.
We love it. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
We both really are big fans of your channel. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, no, you're fine. Huge fans.
Oh, well, huge fans.
Yeah. Huge fans.
No pressure.
You're
I hope I don't disappoint you. It's all, it's like whenever you talk to people that maybe if you've been watching them or something, and then you talk to them and then you're like left with, oh, they suck. Hopefully I don't do that to you.
Well, we put you on such a high pedestal that you're really walking on shelves right now.
Oh, great. Here we go.
No,
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're all good.
I think that's true for a lot of people's heroes. You meet them and you're like, wah, wah.
Whoa, I'm not anybody's hero. Don't tell me I'm anybody's hero.
But you have a worthy voice that's a breath of fresh air to hear, and you're a strong woman, and it's wonderful. I'm very excited that just to have you as a voice that I hear with the many other voices. Yes, it's good stuff.
Thank you.
I have this thing where I was so excited that you covered it, and I do know that many of our audience probably haven't seen it, and I'm not sure how they would feel, but the Bernie Sanders going on Fox and Andrew Yang going on Shapiro, I am 100% ecstatic about this. I loathe him, Shapiro, and Fox. Has nothing to do with the reason why this is good. They both can whatever. But the people that sit at home with their MAGA hat on need to hear these things. They need to hear voices other than the propaganda they get every day. So I was, did you watch all of Shapiro's with Andrew Yang?
I watched a good chunk of it. I fell asleep. At one point I snoozed off, but I got through most of it, I think.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea, and I want to see more. I want to see Elizabeth Warren, and
could you imagine? Do you think she would?
Yeah, I wish she would. Yeah. It's not one of her strong suits. But I think that it would be good for people to see her just talking to people. I think that would be great.
Well, Shapiro, he's like you've got to be really strong in your convictions to talk to Shapiro, because he'll just like railroad over you, right? Yep. So gotcha. you do have to know what you're getting yourself into if you're going to go on Fox. Like if you're going to go on Tucker Carlson's show, you just got to prepare for it. And same thing with Ben Shapiro, because they will just railroad you. But it is so important that that everybody talks to one another. I'm just so fed up with this narrative of, oh, don't speak to the other side. Like, oh, how dare you legitimize them? How dare you talk to them? Right. I mean, it's just, that's not, how else are we going to win anybody over? If we're just preaching to the choir all the time.
I agree.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful what's going on. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you. One thing that I'd like to point out is the last 2 years, Christy and I were both very religious and also I don't think as left-leaning at the time. At least I wasn't. So I've had like a complete paradigm shift in the last 2 years. And what really helped me form the views that I have now and use more critical thinking is listening to both sides of any argument, like listening to debates, listening to full interviews of people that I may have previously not agreed with, and to have people on both sides who will talk to people on both sides. I think that really, really helps discourse. I think
That's
really
called both sidesism, and you're going to get in trouble for that, you know. You're not allowed to do that.
I know you get in trouble for that all the time, don't you?
Yeah. How dare you hear out the other side? Both sidesism. Oh my gosh. You know, that means you're alt-right. That's what that really means.
I'm basically Dave Rubin.
No, that's sad.
It's sad.
I do see that. You know, if you talk to this person, even if you are really, really strong in your progressive ideas, but you talk to someone who is opposed to those ideas, why would that mean that your ideas have changed to be with? It blows my mind. That's why we can't have these things, America.
It really is. And, you know, the thing that bothers me the most about all of this is, you know, I've always been on the left, I feel like. Although I've always been an independent thinker. I've never registered for either party. I think the only party I ever registered for in my youth was like the Green Party back in the day. But, you know, I've always been an independent thinker. And I've just never understood this narrative of like, don't speak to each other, don't speak to the other side. And the thing that bothers me the most is that right now I'm noticing I get more hate from the left than I do from the right. I actually don't get really any pushback from right-wingers at all. You know, people always ask me if I get a lot of misogynistic comments on my thread from like, they kind of expect like right-wingers to say all these sexist, misogynistic things. And I don't get any of that. You know, like, in fact, what's kind of interesting is like, if anybody comments on my looks at all, you know, like I recently got bangs, you know, like I cut my hair. I cut this myself, by the way.
I'm a hairstylist.
Yeah, I did a real crap job, but I still, you know, the other day I was just like, I'm going to get myself some bangs. So, you know, on my video, a lot of people were like, hey, Kim, nice bangs, you know, like the new haircut or whatever. And other people would be like, oh my gosh, like stop commenting about her looks. Why don't you listen to what she says instead? And people would come to my defense if they thought that somebody, right. Like, yeah, because they were like, you know, hey, don't comment about her looks. Why don't you actually listen to her? And I always find that so cute, you know, that people would like defend me in that way. But really, nobody has made misogynistic. I mean, you know, once in a rare while, but for the most part, I'm not getting this like right-wing hate that people would think I would get. I do get, though, sadly, a lot of hate from the left. And that is where the hate comes from. It's coming from this, you know, both sidesism. If you are even willing to see the other side, now you're on the alt-right. You're not one of us. You're a traitor. You're a turncoat. You know, all of these different things. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
It really is.
It is. I did not expect any of that. I didn't expect it. I really thought that you were getting. I do leave comments, and you know, I've had great experience actually in your comments. But I did.
I usually see positive.
Only
but
positive.
I mean, like, I'm not searching through all of them, right?
Right.
But yeah, because I mean, I know that exists though, because I used to watch Dave Rubin a lot.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of saw him do his little switch over, and then,
right. I used to watch too, and I watched the whole, like, you could kind of see it happen, right? Through like each interview, and he'd start to kind of question things, and then it was just like a matter of time that he would just like completely become a full-blown right-winger.
Yes.
Now he's like a total libertarian. I mean, he's like even economically a right-winger, I think.
I think so.
Do you think that change with him in particular has anything to do with the funding and who the funding is coming from?
No, I don't actually. I can understand why he shifted. I totally understand it. I was actually having a conversation with my dad about this today. And if you watch my videos, my dad is like a big part of my life. My dad is like a big progressive and whatnot. So, I talk to my dad every day. He's like my manager or whatever. Not really. My mentor. And I was telling him, I was like, I can understand why so many of these people like Dave Rubin and like Candace Owens and, a lot of people that maybe would seem like they should be on the left, why they would embrace the right. And it's because they get so much hate from the left and, only love from the right that it's like a matter of time before you finally just embrace people that embrace you back. And even I have these moments where look, I'm on the left. I even tweeted this before I left Twitter. I tweeted out that I am on the left. I'm not changing, but I can understand, but the outrage from the left really is upsetting. And actually, Dave Rubin tweeted me back, and he said, "Oh, it's just a matter of time. You just wait." And he said something kind of along those lines, like "You just wait. It's just small steps." Because I said I'm not abandoning the left just yet. And I can see why people do. I can see why they do, because it can be so exhausting fighting off the hate. And then on the other side, you just get this group of people who are embracing of you, and they're sitting there and they're saying, "We think you're great, you're rational, you make sense." And you got a guy like Dave Rubin who's gay, who's Jewish, and he's being embraced by the right.
Doesn't make any sense.
We have so much work to do.
Yeah. There just needs to be a real pushback on the authoritarian left to get, them to knock it off, because they are eating their own and pushing people out.
Right. Yeah, because they call it the regressive left.
And I think they are very regressive.
They are, or at least there's a sect of them who are. And I think that sect of them really aren't the progressive left. No. I think
they're not even liberals.
Progressive enough for nuance and different opinions, then you're not really progressive.
Right. And really, I feel like part of being a progressive is being an independent thinker.
Absolutely.
Right? Being able to kind of like step away from the narrative and to say, maybe that's not real. And maybe we should question what's real. And maybe we should find the truth. And that's kind of the heart of progressivism. And a lot of people who have embraced, who have joined in, or they call themselves progressive or whatever, they are more regressive, and they're authoritarian. They're authoritarian left. I mean, they have more in common with the authoritarian right, like the moral Christian right wingers who are like, don't talk to those gays because they're immoral heathens. And the regressive left.
Talking to heathens.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because this is why some people like fear socialism as like this authoritarianistic government system, right? It's because they don't understand the policies, one,
right,
and two, basically that's it. But, two, because people act like that on the left, like people.
It's like it's a total turnoff. Why would you ever want to join a group of people that act like that? Right. You just don't even identify with them. And then your natural inclination is just to be against everything they stand for because they're so annoying.
They're very annoying. I agree. A friend of mine, Armin Navabi, he is an author. He also is the founder of Atheist Republic, which is the largest atheist nonprofit on the planet. And the book he wrote, Why There Are No Gods. So he's gonna get hate for writing a book, Why There Are No Gods, already, and he does. But he's a very left, policy-wise, economically-wise human. But he gets so much hate from the left. It blows my mind. So he's always has to, when he says anything, he has to end every sentence with "not all." Or not everyone.
Yeah.
He has to.
Because there's absolutely no.
So sad that he has to do
there's
that.
No nuance.
Yeah, there isn't. I mean, you can't talk in any generalities on the left, and that is problematic because in order to solve problems, we kind of have to generalize a bit. What's crazy is that they're willing to generalize so much, but then it's like only certain things they're willing to generalize, right? Like they generalize, like, for example, that everything is the white man's fault, right? So that's like a generalization that every white man is to blame. But that generalization's okay, but any other generalization is not okay. Right. It's very inconsistent. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right. There's no critical thinking in that at all.
Right.
Yes, yeah. It's regressive. That's the perfect word for it. It's sad, and there is so much work that we have to do.
And they're loud. They're loud, and they push a lot of people around because they're so loud. They dominate.
The loudest.
So, can everyone still hear me?
Yes, yep. I can.
Okay, cool, because my screen froze. I was going to say, because since we're talking about this, I feel like it's a good segue. One of your recent videos was we need a new name for progressives.
Yeah.
And that immediately got me thinking, and since we had already talked and you were coming on, I'm like, oh, perfect. So we can make this a talking point. As our channel is called LEAH Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism. And I wanted to explain to you briefly, very briefly, what humanism is. And again, you can take it or leave it as you will. But Christy and I recently sat down with someone from the American Humanist Association.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, like, what would some pillars be of humanism so we can explain this to people better. And we came up with education, like everyone deserves, like a good, fair, good education. Free speech, human rights, logic, morality, empathy, and political secularism.
Mm.
Yeah.
And from there, like, you just kind of like let more or less like let those principles like lead your policies. And I feel like because I used to just tell people I was a humanist. Like, I'm a humanist. I care about human rights. I feel like everyone should have free speech, and like you need to like use logic and reason when you're talking to people. So,
right.
And that led me to where I am now as a progressive. So I call myself a progressive, but I also call myself a humanist because I feel like a logical humanist is like some kind of progressive. And
right.
You can differ on different topics. Absolutely. Like I believe there are nuance in different topics, and I also believe that whenever you're attacking, for lack of a better word right now, when you're attacking a certain topic, you need to come at it from all sides. Like, you need to have differing opinions, and one that we may still have time to talk about is the Electoral College. When I saw your video on the Electoral College, I was excited. I was so excited that you had a different opinion than I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I put that down in the comment, and so I'm like, oh, finally something I disagree with you on, because that sparks good conversation. And we don't have to agree on everything, and
right.
We don't have to sling shit at each other because we don't agree on a topic.
Right.
Especially something like that. I thought that one was so interesting that I was getting so much hate and pushback on, because I was like, it's not like I'm advocating for the demeaning of people or something.
Right.
It's like, I mean, it's fairly arbitrary in the grand scheme of things, right? Like it's not. I mean, I think we should keep it. I like states' rights. I like us being a federation, whatever. But at the end of the day, if that changes and we're not, we'll make do. It's not like, I don't know. It's not the end of the world, one of those opinions, but I got so much hate on that one. That was crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It's something else. But for the humanism aspect of things, do you have any questions, or is that something that
Yeah, I mean, what you described sounds really good to me. I mean, I'm not an atheist myself. I do believe in God, but I do think that we should have a secular society. And
Right.
I really, really do not want religion at all in the government.
Right.
I want people who are religious to be represented and
Yes.
so that they're not being marginalized in some way, or so that they're not having their rights stripped of them, their right to practice their religion and all, those types of things. But at the end of the day, we should have a secular society. And
Absolutely.
and we should be focused on human rights. We should all have we should have, I like this term humanism, because it is that we should each have, the inalienable right of being a human, right? And it's interesting. I haven't gotten to this video yet, but I'm in the process of preparing a video about open borders, because I'm actually one of the very few that is an advocate of open borders, and I recognize that I'm alone on this. I'm not like, oh, this is a left-leaning policy or a right. It's not. I'm totally alone. I get it. I'm totally alone when it comes to open borders.
By the way, I just wanted you. I hope you know how brave you are. You're very brave.
You're very brave.
I cannot wait for that one.
We appreciate your, by principle, I agree with you. I don't think policy-wise it would work super duper well. But by principle, I think we should have
because it's part of being a human, right?
Yes.
Part of being a human is my right, my inalienable right to roam, my inalienable right to live where I want to live and be where, and make a life and a home wherever I can and where I want, because who knows what strikes me, famine or droughts or, whatever it might, or just bad government. I don't know. I feel like I have an inalienable right, at least I should, as a human, to roam the earth, as a human of the earth.
Yes.
And I have a whole lot of points and data and stats on that I'll deliver, in a future video when I get it all ready. I'm still not ready for it because I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on it. So I have to be real ready.
Yeah.
I have to have my facts. Prepared. Yeah.
I'm excited to see that, though, because by principle, I absolutely agree, because who says that this land is just our land, not your land?
And it's actually a fairly new concept. Borders is is a new thing that is really just something that's happened recently. And I kind of feel like, because we carve out areas of the world and we're like, okay, this whole area is the United States, right? But there's so much of the country that is barren, right? There's no city, there's no town. It's just like open land. Yeah. And a lot of me feels like there's so many people that are members of society who don't really seem to want to be members of society. They're like so extreme libertarian, for example, that they don't want to, their viewpoints are basically, they don't want to have to help out their fellow man. They just feel like to each their own.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of me's like, well, then you don't want to be a member of society. So you should just go and live in a non-society.
I agree.
So there's got to be area of the country carved out for this is where you live if you don't want to be a member of a society.
Yes.
You get banished to the mountains.
Say what?
You should get banished to the mountains.
Right. No, the mountains are pretty. I want those.
Included in that group should be all of the people that say taxes are theft.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is the same argument that I use to people, especially on the right. I have a local political group that I'm a part of on Facebook, and I get in a lot of arguments there. I get in a lot of trouble all the time. I'm the only lefty left on the group, but whenever they throw democracy back in my face and no, we're a republic, whatever, yada yada. It's no, but look, democracy is
we're still a democratic republic.
We are a democratic republic, yes. Right. And democracy, whether you like it or not, it kind of goes by majority rule, or whoever votes.
It's supposed to
this percentage. Yeah. So it is society rules, and if you don't like society, well, then maybe society isn't for you. And I don't try to be harsh. I just try to make the point of hey, we live in a society. I don't think we should ever stomp on any minorities' rights ever. And I feel the same about religion. I feel like religion should have every right to exist and prosper and teach its beliefs to the point of it doesn't harm someone.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, I'm an anti-theist. I'm an atheist and I'm an anti-theist. I think religion has a net negative effect on humanity. But
yeah, it can. There's no doubt about that. Right.
Yeah. But I'm a humanist first. I want everyone to have their rights to live their life as they see fit.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
I think if you take one thing away from the term humanism, would be that every human, it doesn't matter where you live, what you look like, has the same exact right to exist and to have education and to have food and to have a place to live as the next person over. That's human rights. Human rights and humanism are the same exact thing. Yeah. So there are different schools of thought, different philosophies of humanism, and there are religious humanists, there are secular humanists. I just, for myself, like secular humanism. I think that for me, I don't need something in the sky to tell me to have morals or to guide my morals. I see myself or my daughters and other people's kids. You know, they're the same. I wouldn't want mine to suffer. I wouldn't want theirs to suffer. I don't want to hurt. I don't want them to hurt. So for me, I need that to tell me. So that's why I choose secular humanism. But humanism, any which way, is a good philosophy. I think that it's the tippy top, the very best. Yeah, superior, I should say.
Yeah.
But I hear this, and my first instinct is like, but what about my dog?
Yeah.
We got to add my dog.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. And I don't know if you actually want to get into it, but yeah, I mean, like, I mean, like,
yeah.
Please do, not you?
Yes, flew first. It's awesome. Yes.
Very much so.
If you ever just want to smile on, you don't have Twitter anymore, but it's Floof.
I still have it. I just don't log into it, and my Instagram is now connected to it, so it only posts what I post on Instagram.
Well, yeah, there's that. Well, it's FLOOF, Floof Earth Religion. And
if I decide to come back one day.
Tons of animals, great stories. There's no nothing that would make you go, oh, or I have to. It's just smiles. Just smiles. Animals.
Well, get it on Instagram. I'll watch it all day on Instagram. I look at a lot of dogs and cats on Instagram.
I do.
It's such a happier place. I have a big dog. I've got a golden retriever mixed with a shepherd. So she's the shape of a shepherd, but she's the color of a golden retriever. Her name's Scarlet, and then I've got a cat, and her name's Ella, and she's just this old gray cat.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, she's 15 or 16 now. She's going strong, though. She's going to keep going for like a solid another 5-10 years, maybe.
I believe it.
She's super healthy. She gets a lot of love, so she has like a reason for being.
Yes. That makes my heart happy. I have 4 cats and a dog.
4 cats and a dog. Wow.
Yes. And they're all very, very
sweet. The same size as the cats, so it's
oh my gosh. That's too many. No, cats are fine because, you can have a lot of cats because they're like,
independent.
And they hide, they've got their own little corners that they go to. So it's like, it's not like really although at night that would drive me crazy because my cat just runs around my head all night long. I couldn't imagine 4 of them doing that.
Yeah, they do get into their, that 3 a.m. run.
Yeah, at night, right? Because they're really nocturnal. I did have 2 cats at one point before I had a dog, and that was hard at night because they both would like run around the bed chasing each other around me. I'd be like, "Now is not the time, guys. I'm trying to sleep."
Yeah, they don't care about that.
No, they're like, "Whatever, join us."
Right, go grab the ribbon, Mom.
Right. Yeah. I had a weird cat. I had one of those hairless cats.
I love them so much. They're so cute. Oh, I'm such a sucker
for them. His
name
was Duke.
Yes, how can you not? They look like Dobby, the house elf.
He did, and he had like yellow eyes. It was exactly what he looked like.
Oh,
I had one cat, the cat that I have now, and she needed a friend, and I just didn't want to deal with more hair. So I was like, I'll get a hairless one.
There you go. That's the solution.
He didn't live long though because he had cancer. I adopted him and he had cancer, and he was like sad. Already older, and so he only lived like 4 years. But
so sad.
Yeah, he had a good life. for the
Yeah,
last
I
few.
bet he did. Treats whenever he wanted. Yeah.
He had a great life. He was
You're
hot
a good-
tubbing all the time. I swear, he was like literally hot tubbing all the time. He got in the hot tub
Yeah,
every
they do
day.
like baths, don't they?
Yeah, well,
With the-
because they don't have any fur, and he's like
Right.
cold, so he'd like whenever I would be in the bath, he would jump in the bath.
Oh, wow. I've had cats
was a
fall
weird
in,
one.
but not jump in.
No,
Which
this
is-
one was like actively seeking it out.
Oh, you
Yeah,
like?
yeah.
Oh.
And he loved the hot tub in the backyard. He was like literally always wanting to go hot tubbing.
That's so
He would just
funny.
chill with a beer.
Right. Oh, I bet that's so. I bet you have good memories of that.
Yeah. I've always had pets. I like my pets. They're people. They're people.
They are. Cats are people
Yeah.
too.
They
I
are.
agree.
They're just not human people, but they're people.
Right.
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 Yeah.
They rule us.
They're
Literally.
lives. They're
That's
do
for damn
everything
sure.
them. Yeah, we clean their
I think
body.
we all-
we clean their
I'm their
food.
pet. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We feed them.
Especially
We
if you have
comb
cats.
them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They run this. They run the world. Yes, they do. Oh, and then one last thing I haven't heard, and I do watch all of your videos. I know it sounds a
Oh
little,
gosh.
but I do. And maybe I just haven't seen you. You saw that the Save the Internet Act went through.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but then it got stifled by the Senate.
Yes, it's still a work in progress, but
Right.
I didn't expect that to happen. I was just waiting for them to say it didn't. But
Yeah, I was expecting it to get through the House. But I just knew it wasn't going to get through the Senate. So, I mean, it's kind of like, dead on arrival.
right,
So it's,
right
Yeah.
now.
yeah, I just don't know what to do about those damn Republicans, like, I mean, that's just, they're rough, right? Because they just like,
Really are.
there's so many problems with the left for sure. But, my feeling is like, at least the Democratic Party might be savable.
Right.
Whereas the
agree.
Republican Party is far gone. I mean, they're just like, they don't believe in science.
Nope.
I mean, they don't, there's like no facts, no science, just make it up as you go. I don't even know if they got out of school. I mean, it's just.
Our vice president is a young earth creationist. The vice president of the
Right.
country.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
So they're really a lost cause in a lot of ways. And it's just unfortunate that they're, ruling half the country. I kind of feel like in a way, there needs to be an infiltration of the right because the right wingers did infiltrate the left a bit because like down here where I'm at in Orange County, California, Orange County flipped blue and everybody was celebrating this. They're like, oh, Orange County flipped blue, the blue wave, right? And the reality of it is that a lot of the candidates that won on the Democratic ticket, like the rep for my region right here is Harley Ruda. Well, Harley Ruda is a Democrat, but he's only been a Democrat for 2 years. He was a Republican before 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And basically all of these Republicans jumped ship and decided they didn't want to be a part of the Republican Party anymore, or they saw more opportunity for them in the Democratic Party, and they have infiltrated the Democratic Party. And the Democrats are turning a blind eye to it because they're sitting there saying, well, it's a blue. It doesn't matter. D next to the name. We win. And they're not stopping to think like, actually, this is a Republican who has just changed the R to D. And they're still voting Republican, basically, on all the principles, right?
Yes.
So part of me thinks we need to do the same thing to them. Like a bunch of us just say, I'm a Republican now. Like I'm a Republican and I'm going to vote Republican, but only certain Republicans. And then you start to vote in the Republicans that are more like Democrats or something. I don't know. Like, I just feel like maybe there needs to be a reverse infiltration because they did it to us. We got to start doing it to them and then like start making sense and say, no, climate change is real. Like, who the craziest thing is, have you guys been paying attention to the Florida governor? Ron DeSantis?
I live in Florida. I'm in Tampa right now. So yes.
Like, what the hell? Like that guy, what happened? How did this guy go from being the worst possible candidate who was like a complete racist using dog whistles to being like the best governor? I don't even know what's going on. Or it's like I think he gaslighted the Republican Party. And He was like, I'm a racist, vote for me, Trump, build a wall. And then he gets in office and he's like, climate change is real. We're going to make an entire committee on this. I got a guy just watching the ocean to see how it's rising, like where did this guy come from?
That's fantastic.
Oh, he's been doing the stuff he's been doing.
My mom is my mom's conservative. My very first time I was ever able to vote. I've been voting blue since then. I really don't care about the letter after it. I care about the policies. And it's always been the least amount of worry has always been the blue when it comes to policies. But my mom is still tried and true conservative. And she's of the science is a fact. I mean, this is why we have science. And so she has always been concerned about climate change not being taken seriously. So for people like her, this is wonderful. This is extra on top of they voted for him. They were glad that their guy won, but this is even better.
I mean, the laundry list of stuff, like I've been following him and I've just been amazed. Like he legalized marijuana when the other guy was like, okay, no. And then he gets in there and says, yeah, we're going to legalize marijuana. We're going to make a climate change committee. We're also going to what did he do with those black kids that were accused of rape?
Right.
And he said, no, they didn't do it. This was an injustice. This was like I mean, it's like bizarro land.
It is bizarro land.
I feel like, I'm like, wait a minute. Did he just totally gaslight the Republican Party into thinking like maybe he did exactly what I'm saying people should do? Where they just say, yeah, Trump, yeah, build a wall, right? Oh, yeah, monkey it up, right?
His campaign was so campy and cringy. His commercial,
totally.
He had his kids building a
wall, right?
The baby had the Trump onesie on. He was reading
it was terrible.
To his baby.
It was terrible.
It was Saturday Night Live. It's what it felt like. So that's gonna have me thinking now.
Honestly, you should really, because I've actually documented everything he's been doing.
Interesting.
And I mean, he's a liberal. I mean, it's like you would think that Florida elected a Democrat. If you were to just read off everything this guy did, you'd be convinced it was a Democratic governor. And I mean, there have been a couple of things that he's done that have been Republican, but the laundry list of things has been largely seeming like something a Democrat would do. And I've just thought, man, we need more Republicans like this, you know?
Exactly. I agree. I don't agree with their, as a state, we all voted to give humans that have served their time their representation back. You served your time. I don't care if it was prison, community. I don't care. If when you get paperwork that says your time is served, you should get
you should have the right to vote.
Immediately should get it back. And that's how we voted. But now it's stuck there at Capitol Hill, and they are putting all of these things in the way of making it. So I still got a lot.
Yeah, he is definitely doing still some things that are Republican, but even Democratic governors do shit that's Republican, right? I mean,
Biden.
Exactly. I mean, so we're not going to get things that are perfect, but I mean, it would be nice, but I've just been really amazed by that guy, thinking, wow, that's a Republican. Weird. Okay, we need more like that, I guess.
Yes. Very interesting. You've given me a lot to think about.
Well, and even with education, he even said about Florida, he was like, we need to be investing in human capital.
Absolutely.
He was like, we've got to put the money in the people. And it was like, what? Are you a Republican? Are you sure?
Education is not even on their list of things to do ever, unless it's, what is it? The charter schools.
Yeah, exactly. Privatizing and all of that. But no, he was like, no, we need to invest in the Floridian people, and we need to put a lot of resources and money into education because we need an educated workforce. And it was like, wow, okay. I don't know what happened down there. That was unexpected. That was the most racist campaign.
He was awful. I mean, we were
awful
when he won. When he won, we were like, how could people vote for that?
I know, but he's turned out to be the best governor that Florida's had in decades.
Yeah. Much better than Scott. Much better than Scott.
But, you say that both sidesism. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to be called. I'm on the alt right now. I've switched teams. Here we go.
No, if a human does something good, I don't care what letter's after their letter or after their name. I don't care if they do something worthy of mentioning because we want other people to see this and also do things like this. I don't care what letter they have. If you do something good, I'm going to say congratulations. And if you do something shitty or horrendous or atrocious, I'm going to say something as well. It doesn't matter what team you're on. Oh, I hate that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that's really wrong with our political climate right now is all the teams, and it's like who's loyal and who's not loyal.
Yeah, and, like a mob.
Yeah, it really is. And it's just this idea of loyalty to a party. I am not loyal to a party. I mean, there's a potential time in the future where I'm a Republican. I don't know. Like if the Republican Party switched their platform and they had a good platform, I mean, okay, I guess I'd be a Republican that day. I mean, I don't, I don't have a loyalty to any of the names. I mean, by the time I'm 80 years old, there might not be a Democratic or a Republican Party, and then I got to be whatever is that there is, I guess. But that is really kind of destroying our discourse and our ability to make change.
Yes.
And well, that along with money, the money in politics, the control of the oligarchs, they've got control over our political system. So it's really difficult to make change. And they get us all fighting on things, because they want to distract us. So
and it works. It works every time.
It works every time.
And there's something there that, like, I've said before, and on one of my videos on my other channel, is that labels help as much as they hurt, right?
Yeah.
Because labels help you find other people who may think like you, and then you can share similar ideas and help sculpt your views, maybe in a better way, and maybe craft better arguments in ways that you didn't know how before. But also, every label has a stereotype attached to it.
Yeah.
And feminists and SJWs both are perfect examples of that, and progressives also.
Yeah. Well, the term progressive, like I said, in my video, has been co-opted, and now I don't even know. Yeah. I've got people yelling at me saying, "You're not a progressive." If I don't go along with the narrative of like the social justice warrior group, then I'm called not a progressive. And then I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe you're not a progressive. Right. To my
that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, well, what's a progressive these days? I don't know. I know that it's a term that's being thrown around loosely by the right. And it's a term thrown around loosely in politics in general because everybody wants to be a progressive because it's the movement that was working. And then they now it's like morphed from the time that I really started becoming a progressive or recognizing that I actually was one. Now it's like there's a lot of intersectionality and stuff that I'm just like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I didn't even know what that meant until like last week. I'm sitting there like, what is this? I don't like, I just thought we were talking about money and politics. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing. I don't want to keep you much longer because we're about out of time here.
I do have one question for Mac and you and Nacha. Your dream, if you could just dream it to be true, president and vice president.
Oh, right now? Yeah, I'm definitely a Tulsi Bernie in either order.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's fine for me.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same.
So I would love to see Tulsi Bernie or Bernie Tulsi, something like that. Yeah. That would be.
I'd like to see like Bernie Tulsi, and then Tulsi AOC for the next 16 years.
Nina Turner too. She needs to get a spot somewhere. I don't care where, but somewhere making big decisions. That is a real woman. I love her.
Yeah. There've been, there's a lot of, what I really love about this election that is so different from previous elections is that this is the election of big ideas.
Yeah.
Finally ideas, actual ideas are coming to the table. And it's like UBI, universal basic income, or, the wealth tax, or, even if it's things I don't agree with, like a lot of the candidates are talking about, getting rid of the Electoral College or expanding the Supreme Court or, getting rid of the filibuster or all these different, they've got, but at least I can appreciate that they're ideas, and I'm like, okay, now we're actually talking rather than saying, well, vote for her. I'm with her because she's a her,
that stuff drives me nuts.
Yeah. And so we finally entered an era where I feel like every politician that's out there has to have ideas or they're dead in the water. And it's like, what is your like pet idea? And for Tulsi, it is ending the regime change wars. And for, Andrew Yang, it's the universal basic income. And Elizabeth Warren's got a vast policy platform that mainly revolves around getting the corruption out of government and taxing, taxes. Really, she's like big on taxation, taxing the wealthy, and and obviously
get a spot doing that. Whoever makes president needs to put her in charge of the banks, all of it.
Right. Yeah, she's a bulldog. That woman's a bulldog, and like Bernie Sanders obviously was the founder and the father of the actual ideas campaign, where he was like Medicare for all and universal education and raising up the minimum wage. Yeah. So, Bernie was like the founder of this movement, which is why I kind of feel like, and I am a big supporter of Tulsi, but and Bernie lately has been kind of annoying me on some things, but I mean, he's just taken on some narratives that I'm like, I get it. I understand why he's doing it because he's trying to, you have to get all the voters, right? So you kind of have to be an intersectionalist in a way, right? In order to get all the voters. But because he is like the father of all of this, I feel like, not to co-opt Hillary's term, but it's his turn.
I agree.
It's his turn.
His national policies and Tulsi's foreign policies and Warren's financial policies, I think totally. I would be a mess from bawling of tears of joy for like probably a week. I'd just be like, this is so amazing.
And I even really like a lot of Andrew Yang's policies. He's got a lot of really interesting ideas that I think should be brought up. I really like that he's bringing forward the automation issue, because that is something that I've really been concerned with for years. And I've been screaming about it for years. And people say, oh, it'll all work itself out. It'll work itself out. And I'm like, it's not going to work itself out. And I'm glad that finally somebody's stepping up saying it's not going to work itself out. No. So I don't really agree with universal basic income, but I like his ideas and I like where he's headed. And I like the conversation a lot, because it's super important. So I just am really loving this election cycle. I'm loving that all these candidates have ideas finally, and that it's less about identity politics. And it's really not about identity politics at all. Because what they're also realizing is like the candidates that are doing the best, and look, as a woman and, I'm an Asian woman and all this, I would love to see a woman really kill it. But they are seeing like Beto and Biden and Bernie, right? And so it's almost forced the party to stop with the identity politics a bit. Yeah. So that's the only thing that's good about that, is that when they saw that these three white men basically were trending really well, it kind of made them shut up about it. And it was like, you have to focus on ideas, because if you're just going to focus on like, okay, it's a person of color or a woman or whatever, like they tried with Hillary, being, okay, a woman, I'm with her. That doesn't work. People don't care. They're seeing that now. And now they're like, okay, I guess it's about the ideas. I guess that's what we got to do, So I like that. But I do wish that one of those, instead of those three that are, in the top three, I wish it were a woman. I wish that there was, Elizabeth Warren at least, or Tulsi.
Yeah. And like, especially with me, with the Tulsi, I've really liked her since a few months before she started running, because I didn't really get into politics too much until Christy forced it upon me. But I've learned a lot.
Junkie, like a policy.
Yeah.
I will read all 380 pages of a bill.
Wow. That's impressive.
Can't
And
get
then-
That's
enough.
impressive.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I'm at work every night, like she just sends me videos and I just listen to politics and news, usually for around 7 hours of my 10-hour work night.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I keep
and that's
coming
like
out.
I'm just trying to keep up because there's so much that goes on.
It's too much. It's so much, you know. I try
Yeah.
to shut down and not pay attention.
Yeah,
Um,
I have to a few times.
it,
a
it
week.
but yeah, but it's like once you do that, then all of a sudden you turn it back on. And you're like, oh my God, I missed so much. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to catch up now?
So,
I can't
so
catch up.
that being said, I want to say that's anyone who's watching tonight or tomorrow night, because we'll be premiering this.
Yes.
This is why it's important to watch channels like Kim Iversen's, because she doesn't focus on identity politics, right? She focuses on policies. She focuses on like what's actually going on in news, and she tells the truth, and she does her best to be objective. I really appreciate her channel, even when we disagree, which is not very often. But that doesn't mean that all of my viewers will agree. I don't know what everyone's political views are, who watches our channel yet, but we're getting there. Please go to Kim Iversen's YouTube channel. It has right now 48,168 subscribers, so we want to check it up to 50,000.
And
ASAP.
today is my 3-month anniversary.
Yay!
Yes.
I was like number
months.
Congratulations.
200 and
Your
something.
channel.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What?
Oh my
I was-
gosh.
Something.
That is so awesome.
You were
Yeah.
which, Christy?
Number 200. 200.
What? I thought I found it before you did.
Well,
No,
like, you guys
I
are
was
early
very
adopters.
impressed, though.
Yeah.
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 Jeez. When I had
I-
like 1 video or 2 videos up or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy's all over the
Cool
place. She
woman
doesn't miss anything.
With strong views and she's rational. I'll reserve judgment. I'll just keep listening. And then he started sending me, you've got to check this out. And I was like, okay, so I really need to pay attention because.
Oh, that's so great. That's so nice. Yeah. So hopefully I'll hit 50,000 this weekend.
That would be
I'm sure
Um,
you will.
Yeah, well, the trends are, usually like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are really slow days with subscribers and stuff. And also I get shadow banned a lot.
I'm
Yeah.
You're such an awful person.
Well, what they do is like anytime I talk about any kind of war or terrorism, they slow my channel down. So they'll like put it on hold. Whenever they demonetize a video, I notice that they then basically slow down the exposure of the channel so that no one can see anything for a while.
Which is bull. And like even just mentioning Nancy Pelosi those times.
Yeah, that was so crazy. Like whenever I talk about Nancy Pelosi, I get shadow banned, and it's like, really? Like I can kind of understand the war and terrorism one because maybe advertisers don't want to put advertisements on things that talk about war and terror and stuff like that. Like I can kind of understand it, but Nancy Pelosi, wow, that's just like clearly trying to protect her. That's all that is.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, even that happening, 3 months, and you're about to hit 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really awesome. You should definitely be proud of yourself.
Thank you. Well, I hope I don't blow it.
If you stay humble like that, you'll be just fine.
I just feel like any day now, I'm like, I know for sure I'm going to come out with an opinion and everybody's going to turn on me. Like it's going to be that one opinion. What I do notice, though, is that anytime I defend an establishment Democrat to any degree, I get a spike in loss of subscribers.
Oh,
so
wow.
like, yeah, that's like the one thing you're not allowed to do apparently with progressives. So, I can defend right wingers and it's okay. Of course, protect the progressives and all that stuff and talk about them. But the minute I defend anything a establishment Democrat does, then I'm like dead to people.
Oh my
gosh. But that's good. That's good because you are building your audience. You're finding your audience. So like, you're going to piss off a lot of people. Good. They don't need to listen to you if they don't want to.
Yeah. Right.
It's YouTube. Like you look up what you want to watch. And,
Right.
Very true.
The numbers are showing more and more and more and more people like what
I
you
just
say.
I just try not, like, I've had to, because, I'm pretty new, right? So, like, because I just got started 3 months ago. So I'm still trying to figure out how to control my own self. And like, that's why I had to leave Twitter, was because I just get mad and then I become a keyboard warrior. And I do, like, I'll tell people to go to hell, I'll be like, fuck off. Yeah.
Bag of dicks.
Yeah, and then people are like, and then people will comment and say, that doesn't really sound like Kim responding. Maybe she's been hacked. And I'll like read this and I'm like, no, it's me. It's me.
It's me, bitches.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, go to hell.
That's
That's
like
so
the
funny.
Facebook group that I'm a part of too. Because and like the people I argue with are just like, is this Mac?
It's like you can't help yourself.
I'm like, yeah, shut up. I said shut up.
Right. Like, and it's like once you get behind the keyboard, for one, tone doesn't get interpreted and like it would in a video or something. But yeah, I'm trying to like limit myself so that I'm trying not to read the comments anymore in my videos because
Good idea.
yeah, because I just want to fight back,
Yeah.
and I will. And I'm like I'm a spitfire, like, and I've always been.
No.
So I get mad and I start to argue with people and I'm like, this isn't good. Just like drop it. I don't know. I need to like have some sanity, go do some yoga or something.
Right.
Well, I had got some really good advice from somebody who has a pretty good platform on YouTube. It was, when you publish or post a video, the first 12 to 24 hours, it's going to be people who love you. They're subbed to you. They got the alert. They want to, tell you how good they loved it. Or even if they have some criticism, it's all coming from a good place.
Right.
After that, there's no reason to ever, there's just not a reason to go
comments.
unless you want to get, So,
but the problem is like, right after I publish a video, I always do go back and check. Now, after a few days, I don't check the comments on videos anymore. But when it's a new publish, I always go back and check because I'm curious of the reaction I'm getting for what I just said. It's like, oh, I don't know how they're going to take this. And like, so it just, I've had to learn just to like turn it off. And, people are going to unsubscribe and they'll say that to me. They'll try to hold it against me. I unsubbed, because it's like their power. Yeah.
Right.
But, they come back like after a week, they get mad, they unsub. And then like a week later, they're like, all right, fine, I'm back. All right.
Unsubbing. Wait, didn't you unsub like 2 weeks ago?
I resubbed. But you watch it, Kim. You watch it.
Right.
That
authoritarianness.
No. But it's fun, and I appreciate them watching, even if they don't agree, and even if they want to send me hate mail, I guess. I just have to control myself not to like get mad and fight back. Somebody called me a Nazi sympathizer yesterday, and I couldn't help myself but to tell them to go to hell. Yes, I was like, go to hell. And then other people got mad at me and they were like, wow, what kind of a person tells their subs to go to hell? And I was like, she called me a Nazi sympathizer. She can go to hell.
Fine. That's justified.
Right.
Yeah.
That was totally justified. She can go to hell.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't let the door hit you on the way in.
Really?
Most Americans have no idea what an actual Nazi. It's sad, but
I didn't even say anything. They
don't
made it
know
up.
what it is. They don't know what fascism is. They don't know what socialism. They just they don't know. So
well,
they just use the word.
Literally made it up. She like literally put words in my mouth that I never said, saying something like that. I said that it was like good that some Nazis were in the U.S. or something. And it was like, I never, ever, ever have said that in a video ever. I've never said that. Like
in my life, right. And nor would I ever be happy that there's a Nazi anywhere.
Yeah, like I've never said that. So I don't know what this woman was, anyway, she can go to hell. Haha.
That's amazing. Good story.
Yeah. So I've had to turn off my comment. I can't like read them anymore. I just have to like move on with my life, figure out a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, it's important to, at least after a while, just let them go. Just let them go.
It's hard though. They get to you. They get to
They
you.
do. They absolutely do. And I mean, I can't act like I totally get it. Like between these two channels, I have 800 subs. You have 50,000. So I don't quite get that yet. But
it's the same as being on Facebook though. And people, you say a status and then all your friends come after you and tell you how stupid you are. I mean, it's like that same, that same battling.
Yep.
Yeah. Similar.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
And it's so easy because when it's just a message in front of you, you have time to think about it and just hey, I can respond really well to this.
Right.
It's not like they're just putting you on the spot, right?
Right.
You can take 5 minutes, look up a couple sources and be like, look, you're an idiot and this is why.
And it is, it's like road rage.
Yes.
It's like perfectly well-balanced people who are totally nice and kind and wonderful in every other way. But it's like the minute you get into the comment section, all bets are off, and everybody is a road rager. And I totally turn into a road rager, but I am a road rager in real life. Not really, not like a road rage, not road rage, but I'm a idea rager, right?
Right.
I'll battle in any place.
That. You could have turned any time. Yeah, I do stuff like that too.
So funny.
Get up next to him, honk, and be like, "What's up?" For no reason.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I need to find my zen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 42, and I think right around the age of 37, 38 is when I just laugh. When people get upset on the road, I'm like, wow, you look really crazy right now.
My best friend said that to me. She was like, just wait until you're, I think she said 37. She's like, just wait until you're 37. You won't care, right? 37 is come and gone and come and gone again, basically. And I still care. I mean, I don't.
Right. It's just who you are.
Where's the magic number for me? I don't know. It wasn't 37 and it wasn't 38. Maybe it's 39.
Maybe. Well,
maybe.
Hopefully you stay just the way that you are, because you are wonderful.
Well, I've never changed in all these years.
Yeah, and just stay being you. Who cares what people, if God, this is going to upset somebody, but you also know that this is exactly how you feel about it.
Yeah, I guess, it's hard though. I'm still a human.
Why
right?
people like us find you, and it's such a breath of fresh air.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, you guys are so nice. I needed it after some of my videos that I published lately that I've been like, oh gosh, I just got so beat up these last couple of days. It's hard.
It is hard. Politics is a dirty, dirty world.
Yeah, and I'm kind of used to it because I came out of radio and I had a lot of hate mail. I mean, I'm used to hate mail. That was just par for the course. So it wasn't totally unexpected, but it's still always an adjustment to get used to it. And when it's political, people are way meaner than they are in other types of media. Yeah. Because politics is like religion, right? It's very personal for people.
Right.
And it's been taught that way. It's been taught as in this is who you are, and if you don't like it, you should be angry.
Yeah.
No, that's not how you should be. Right.
Well, I feel like more often than not, they get so offended, but they don't even know what they're talking about. Especially if we're talking about policy, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Why we're saying what we're saying. Like what happened with Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar. Yeah.
Yeah. It's anti-Semitic, anti-Semitism. No, she's talking about money and politics.
Right.
If you don't know that, then you're not paying attention at all.
Yeah.
They co-opted the feelings part of the news to make it about feelings instead of don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. But this is how you feel about him. This is how you should feel. No.
Ben Shapiro preaches all the time about I don't care about your feelings, and then when
facts
Ilhan
don't
Omar
care about your feelings.
Israel.
Yeah, he always says that. Facts don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings.
That is a really, really good impression.
You sounded just like him, kid. That was a really good impression.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Facts don't care about your feelings. Yeah. He's tough to listen to. I do listen to him though.
Very tough to listen to. Don't ever try to speed it up. I'm just letting you know.
Oh God, yeah.
Ooh,
Sounds like a
gosh.
chipmunk.
Yeah,
Just
why would
one
you ever
time.
do? He already sounds sped up.
He does.
Yes, he does.
I've tried before because I usually listen to things on like 1.25 or 1.5 speed to
Really?
keep up. Yeah,
Yeah, I send him a lot.
she does. She does.
I wonder what I sound like sped up like that. I should try it out.
You should.
Well, right
Listen to
now you're sounding
myself.
really slow. I don't know why.
I should listen to myself at 1.5 speed just to see what does that sound like. I don't know. I think I have a deep enough voice.
Yeah, you'll.
Oh
you'll
no, it doesn't get like high pitch or anything.
No,
It's
That's
just
good.
faster. YouTube's
Yeah, 'cause
pretty
then-
good about it.
But I'm afraid if I do that, then like when I do my regular show, I'll process my mic to where I have more bass. Because I'll be like, ooh, I sounded like a chipmunk. So then I'll be like, hey guys.
that would be funny.
Hey
Yes.
guys.
Hey guys. I know you're gonna listen to this sped up, so I lowered my voice.
It's loaded down.
So it sounds normal at 1.5.
Goofballs. Goofballs.
All right.
I had a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you came.
Well, thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Right, so
We were
glad.
both so excited.
Oh,
Definitely.
well, it's so great being here, and thank you so much, and thanks for watching my crap. Glad
Sharing
somebody
that
liked
Send
it.
a few more viewers your way.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Hopefully.
Can you
I'm
tell
trying to
people
get
where
you
to
to
find you
50.
real quick? Your Facebook, your YouTube channel. Just tell them again
Yeah,
real
it's
quick.
just
Plug
it's
channel.
just KimIversonShow.com will take you to the YouTube channel. So KimIversonShow.com.
Cool.
And Facebook is just Kim Iversen, and Instagram is just Kim Iversen. I don't know how they like at Kim Iversen for both of those, I guess.
Mhm.
And it's spelled SEN. And I'm not really on Twitter anymore, but it's at Kim Iversen Show if anybody wants to follow me there. But that I try to avoid. I avoid Twitter. I banned
Right.
Twitter. But I still have the account up. It's just posting my Instagram stuff.
Okay.
And then that way, I guess if anybody really needs to get a hold of me or something, I don't know. Then I guess I log in once in a while to check it out. But I try not to because Twitter makes me extra mad. Road rage, extra road rage.
Yeah, I think that's what Twitter is for. It's
It is for that. It
Oh,
makes
it's
my
a
heart
dumpster
rate.
fire.
Like
The
I
whole
lit my, yeah, like blood pressure goes up. You know, I mean, I feel like it's taken 10 years off my life. So
Oh,
I just
no.
can't. I have to back down from Twitter because
F
it
you,
just makes me
Twitter.
mad.
Yeah. Fuck Twitter. I love Twitter, but I
Those
also
mobs,
I
all
hate
those
it sometimes.
mobs are on there.
Yeah.
And their algorithms, the issue is the algorithm of Twitter, which it promotes the mob mentality because of the algorithm. Whereas like Instagram and Facebook doesn't really have that aspect to it. Twitter is made for mobs.
Yes,
It is.
It's tribalism at a keystroke. It's just
Right. And
yeah.
that's how the algorithm works. I mean, the algorithm, when they trend topics, it's because of the mob. So
Yes, it is.
I think it builds friendships just to watch them burn.
That's horrible.
Jack does seem like he's a bit twisted to me. So maybe he is doing that.
Right. Oh, there is that.
Yeah.
It is a
he's
dumpster
like
fire. The
music.
whole site is a
Yeah, it
dumpster
is.
fire.
It is.
I
mean,
go
it's
on
for
Twitter
something.
once a week to check my DMs. I do it on Sunday, and then I set my phone back down. Like I'm.
Nobody DMs me, so I have like no reason to go on. I get a DM like once every 2 months. So
No,
there's
well,
like no
we
chance.
might want to edit that part out because you're gonna start getting tons of DMs.
I don't think people can DM. I think that's
Okay.
why.
Yeah, if you don't have that
Well, I
option.
can't get to her now.
Yeah, you can't DM me. So I have to mute a lot of people. I don't block anybody, but I mute a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to see your dumb shit.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oh, that's it. Mute.
Yay. Okay, I did write down all of your stuff, so we will have all of that put underneath the video
Awesome.
when we
Doodly
do it.
doodle.
So we'll see your. We'll also mention to help you get to 50. We'll put that.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully I get there this weekend. I should. Usually Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays are good days.
Exciting. I hope you do. I'm so excited for you. You deserve it. Good
Oh,
stuff.
thank
Lots of
you.
research,
Yeah, you've done
a
fantastic.
lot of you can tell you do your due diligence. That's
Oh, I
for-
try. I'm going to
'Cause
be doing that open borders one.
Right, especially if someone new and I start listening to them, I start taking notes. And then when I get done, I go look to see, is any of this untrue? Not on every time. So, yeah.
Shoot, that makes me, I have to
She
really
checks
watch what I
everything
say
out.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do check everything.
Christy
Well,
says
You mean you're fact checking me? Shit. Now I got to go and make sure. Now I got to fact check me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good that you do. It's very good. Because if you know your stuff and then you're passionate about it and you have facts to back you up,
Yeah.
you can really start pushing a message and changing hearts and minds. It's all about ideas, like you said. I love that. The election of big ideas. I wrote it down. I love it.
It is this year. Finally, it is. I don't know if it'll win, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how badly the DNC tries to bury the progressives.
Right.
Don't understand why they don't embrace us.
Well, because money out of politics is a problem. They want to keep their money. They need to keep their power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Like I asked people on Twitter the other day, what's your top 3 issues in politics, like policy issues? And a couple people actually put money in politics, and I was real happy. And that's one of mine is like Medicare. I think I said education, and then money in politics. Like
money in politics is my number one.
It's my number one. Yes.
Yeah, we can't get anything done without that being taken care of first. And then I would say second for me is definitely the military.
Tulsi.
Because that's part of it. Like once we get the money out of politics, then we can actually start correcting the military-industrial complex, because that's controlled by the money in politics.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just issues, right? It's like once you get the money out of politics, then a lot of stuff sorts itself out.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah. Then we can use the money that we do have. So,
right. Well, and people and politicians would actually listen to their constituents,
right,
rather than their donors.
Yes. Free and fair elections is like probably my number 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's another big one, right? We have to get rid of voter suppression, gerrymandering.
Right. And I mean, I have some very fringe ideas for this. I think that every candidate, once you have so many signatures, which means that you can be a candidate, you're allotted by taxpayer money, $30,000. That's what you get.
Yeah,
that's
not very fringe, actually. That's done in a lot of parts of the world.
That's what I know. That's where I got it from.
Yeah, and actually Connecticut, I think, I want to say Connecticut state elections are like that.
I think everywhere they should be, and
maybe
whatever's left of that 30 should be given back. You don't get to keep it, or if you spend all of it, you need to show what it was spent on.
Right.
I think there should be attack ads. I think that every ad that goes out should be fact checked first, like a scientific peer review.
Yeah.
Like I am stickler to this.
I think all of that makes sense, except then you have to kind of like with facts, it's a little hard because then it's like who gets to be the fact checker, and like
an independent counsel with both left and right and middle. I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I think those ideas, to me, they're not radical. I mean, they just make sense. Like that's absolutely how it should be. It should be taxpayer funded elections.
Yep.
And
I think we should have that. And I think we should have ranked choice voting myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing, because we need to give third party candidates like a fucking chance.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have more than 2 parties in this country. Like when Lincoln was elected president, by the way, he was elected with the Electoral College.
Right.
And Lincoln,
Bam.
he won, and there was 4 candidates. And back then, the only way you could win was through the Electoral College, because nobody got the popular vote because there was more than 2 parties. There was 4 parties when he ran. Yeah. So,
that 30% was how someone won then.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I think all of that, I want to say it was either New Hampshire or Connecticut that has the taxpayer funded elections now. But one of the states over there in New England did a real radical change with how they do it. And it is all taxpayer funded. And I don't think they're allowed to take donors at all. And or it's like really limited.
Yep.
What's that?
I don't think you should be able to take any money, because somebody running at grassroots level is not going to have the $500 million
Exactly. Yeah.
dollar funding from
Yeah.
so-and-so funding bank, or, I just, no. Everybody, I don't
Right.
care if you're a billionaire or you made $27,000 last year. You get both of them get 30,000 and that's it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
and
that.
France also does limited media exposure. Everybody
Yep.
gets the same exact media exposure, and they really control that.
Yep, and
So that's
France
important
is
too.
22% public, 22% socialism, this country would call it.
Yeah.
America's 14%. And Venezuela
Well,
is
France right now is
18%.
under a lot of shit.
Yes.
France right now is going through a revolution. They're about ready to anyway. They're on the
I
brink. They always lead the way, You could always like leave it to the French because they're always like, putain, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they
That's
are.
pretty good. You goofball.
I lived in France, and my former business partner was French. Actually, his father, it was a really political family, and his dad was the like the equivalent to the attorney general in France for 30 years.
Oh,
And
neat.
my business partner's godfather was Francois Mitterrand. Yeah.
Wow.
They were like a really prominent, prestigious French family.
Right.
Yeah. But the French are they people always think that they're weak or something, and that is far from the truth. People forget that they were the ones that helped us gain our independence. If it weren't for the French, we wouldn't be America.
Yep. Yeah, they made us the Statue of Liberty. I mean, we have a long.
They saved our asses when the revolution happened. If they didn't show up to beat the British Navy, we would not be America. I mean, that's just. And in fact, and the French were gracious, or they were like cool about it because they totally won the war for us. Mm-hmm. And when they were going to surrender, when the British surrendered, they tried to surrender to the French, and the French said, no, you're going to surrender to the Americans. And they forced them to surrender to the Americans, to the American generals. Yeah, the French won the war, but it was because they totally defeated the British Navy. The British Navy was coming around with reinforcements, which would have totally clobbered the colonies. But the French Navy showed up and blasted away the British Navy and totally won the American Revolution for us. And the British tried to surrender to the French, and the French said, nope, we were here on behalf of the Americans, and you will surrender to the Americans.
Yep.
I know
history is my thing. I'm a history buff. I love history, and there's so much stories like that make us that make the world today that just don't any talk time. You have to go seek this information. It's not taught.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we don't really give credit where credit's due sometimes, I think.
Right.
As a country.
Well, we just like to fit our own narratives, and what the narrative over the last while has been that we hate the French for whatever, the French were weak.
They're 22% social.
Freedom fries, right?
Yeah, the freedom fries, and but we've been screwing the French over. Like shortly after that, then the French Revolution happened, and then they asked us to help them out, and we were like, no.
Exactly.
And they were like, you ungrateful little pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how they feel. Yeah.
And thus the American-French relations were born.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, American exceptionalism.
Yeah. After that, we were like, we won the war for ourselves. And the French are like, oh, how quickly you forget. Ugh.
Right. Well, sounds about right. I love like history books. I have a couple from 1400 and 1600.
Wow.
And they're so interesting. The whole, everything that was happening as America was becoming America. There's so much history there. People
should be, I really think like one of the biggest disservices to our school system is not only like the lack of learning civics, but also just learning Western civilization. I think that if people studied more Western civilization, like European civilization, a lot of the narratives that we have, especially with social justice here, people would realize like it's economic, because like slavery has not always been racial, right? Like slavery around the world has happened people of the same race. It was just whoever they could conquer. And it was always about economics. It was about we need free labor. And so we're going to get free or cheap labor in order to boost ourselves. And, the Romans were doing it and everybody was doing it. And, I think when you start to really study and see the world from, then these narratives that people keep forcing, you could kind of say, well, but that's not really the case, because historically there's one thing that all slaves have in common, and it's not racism. It's economics. It's that the group in power was like subjugating another group in order to get free. It was capitalism is what it was. Yep. It was like, okay, we're going to get free or cheap labor out of you and build wealth off of you.
Prisoners. They would use prisoners. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like really interesting. I just think people need to study more history.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
It would be really helpful when we're trying to have conversations about like why shit is the way it is,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's too hard. Nobody wants to study.
I know how to do shit like
hard.
that.
I did a Thanksgiving show on the Thanksgiving story, and I did it on Thanksgiving Thursday night, this past one, and I told the Thanksgiving narrative, the actual history. I did a lot of research for it, a lot of books from the 1600s, a lot of research for it, and was able to tell a story that even a friend of ours who is about to be a history teacher didn't know.
Really?
It's like, wow, it's all there for you to find. You just have to know how to shift through the bullshit and get to actual, academic.
Right. You have to be able to like sift through all the propaganda that we're told.
Yeah. And I like history from other countries.
Right.
History
You have to study
our country from other countries.
Right.
Phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's the way to study it.
It is. It was. I even learned a few things by doing that. Quite a few. The Native American.
Like I learn way more, doing my videos than I think anybody learns from me. That's for sure.
You're very informative, but if you're like me, you enjoy that. I learn something, and I'm like, I have to tell people about this. So there's that. I like that.
Yeah, we both learn a lot from just doing this show every week.
Yeah.
Just like doing a little bit of research or a lot of bit of research that we do.
Right.
And like we love sharing that information. Just really happy that we have an audience that likes it.
Yeah, I spend 90% of my time on the research.
Yeah.
It would be literally 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And then I do the show and I'm like, ugh, I didn't get it all out. Like there was so much.
How do you get it all in there? Right.
Like, I messed up and I didn't get what I wanted in there, but oh well.
There's so
always
much.
Next time. Yeah.
There's so much. Yeah.
There's too much.
Oh goodness. Well, I knew you were a history buff even without knowing. I assumed, and I was correct. So
I love to research. It's like my hobby. It's always been my hobby.
Me too.
Yeah.
I just like to learn. I like
to
learn, and then I like to know what I'm learning to be what actually happened. That's the part that I try to make sure that I know before I say something.
Yeah. I mean, but you're always going to get stuff wrong or whatever. I don't know. It's like, you just try your best next time. That's what
always next time.
Yeah.
We kept you way longer than we should have. And
it's all right. I have to just wake up. I wake up at 5 every day. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. I know it's like early. It's early. So I try to go to bed early because I wake up so early.
Yes. Well, I know I switched my, it's
here.
You're
late. You guys are late.
1:30,
right?
Yeah. Almost 1:30 here.
Yep. Yep. I'm in Ohio. She's in Florida. We're far away from each other at the same time.
Both East Coast, right?
Yep.
Yes. He's almost East Coast. He's still Midwest.
Yeah, that's true. But it is East Coast time, right?
Yes.
Or is it Central? Yeah.
It's.
Yeah. Well, you guys need to go to bed.
Yes. But thank you so much, Kim. This has been amazing.
Yeah,
You
thank
made
you.
my week.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah,
anytime.
Wrap up here in just a second. Just so everyone knows, I'm the Gray Skeptic. I have my channel, Gray Skeptic, on YouTube. I'm Mac Clark on Facebook and at Gray Skeptic Mac on Twitter. Christy Santiago, where are you at? What do you do?
I am also co-host on LEAH, League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism. And you can find me on Facebook, Christy Santiago, or on Twitter. And I know you corrected me on this last time. On Twitter is at ChristinaDawnsa. Got it right this time. Yay.
And we have Kim Iversen here
Yeah.
tonight. And her name is right here, right now. So you cannot misspell it. Make sure you check out her channel. Thank you, Kim, so much again for coming on. We really loved having you. So such a great conversation. So we'll go ahead and close out, Nacha. Christy, say the thing.
Stay humanism for godless. No, I must. Great conversation.
Stay humanist for godless sake.
Stay humanist for godless sake.